Welcome back to my recovery series. I'm Coach Mark, and this week I'm combining weeks 3 and 4 into one recap since things are moving faster and there's a little less to cover. But these past 2 weeks have been huge, from walking without crutches to taking care of my scars and even hitting the leg press machine for the first time in months. I will also be sharing my full at-home rehab plan towards the end of the video. So let's dive in. At the start of week 3 on Monday, I was finally able to take my first real shower in 2 weeks and even got back to my routine of starting the day with cold showers. I also got to remove the surgical dressings covering my incisions. The surgeon did a great job because the scars look clean and were healing. The only downside of having these for 2 weeks was skin irritation and itchiness, but applying the cream daily has been helping a lot. After seeing my PT on Thursday, she recommended I start massaging my scars to reduce scar tissue buildup. So since then, I've been doing it first thing in the morning and right before bed. It was uncomfortable at first, but it's gotten easier, and my scars are clearly looking better by the day. I had to pinch my skin on each side of the scar like this and on the scar itself, and I had to rub my fingers like this until my skin became red. All of it on dry skin and apply cream after I was done. One more thing I've noticed is some tingling and odd skin sensations in the front of my quads, right next to my scars. Feels different, but isn't painful. Now my weight is back to normal. I'm walking around mostly without crutches, and I can go grocery shopping with my parents. The first few days without crutches, I did feel quite tightness and fatigue by the end of the day, even a type of soreness feeling. But thankfully, that wasn't the case anymore by the end of week 3. I also completely stopped pain meds and anti-inflammatories. The only medication I'm still on is for blood clot prevention. At this point, I was walking around without crutches, but still using them to go up and down the stairs for safety. And I think it was on Wednesday of week 3, I ended up going upstairs and noticed I didn't have my crutches with me. I just went up without thinking about it, and it's at that moment I realized things are going really well. And by the end of week 4, the tension and pressure I was feeling at the level of my incision was pretty much gone as well. Physical therapy started picking up on week 3. On Tuesday, I had my 3rd session, and my PT for the day, Margot, had me laying down on the floor for the first time since surgery. From there, we started with some mobility exercises. I had my feet on a Swiss ball and we did some rotations for the hips. We followed that up with some strengthening work for the hamstrings and glutes using resistance bands. And we finished with some hip flexor work by doing those straight leg raises. My quads were sore again, especially in the upper area. Almost like a bruise sensation, but nothing alarming. On Thursday, we added the hyperextensions, which felt strange at first, like I could feel the artificial joint by being pressed against the support, but it didn't hurt and I completed them fine. We also added bended RDLs with trunk rotation, plus standing knee raises with leg extensions for the hip flexors. Those were tough, and I also think they've caused some type of strain in my left calf, because since then I've had sharp pain whenever I heel strike or balance on that one leg or repeat that same exercise. So I've stopped doing it for now. By week 4, Miguel tested my mobility, which keeps improving, and gave me massage therapy on my scars, legs, and calves, which really helped bring the calf pain down. And on session number 6, he reintroduced me to lower body machines. So we did the leg extensions, leg curls, and the leg press, all at about 50% of my body weight for 20 plus reps. And it felt incredible to be back on the leg press and moving without compensation. On week 3, I managed to squeeze in 2 upper body workouts again on days I went to physical therapy. And by week 4, I managed to squeeze in 4 workouts at the gym since I was feeling really good. But I made sure to work around my limitations so I don't hurt myself. On days I don't do physical therapy, I've made sure to spend at least 15 minutes on rehab exercises at home, and sometimes up to 30 minutes if I'm motivated. And here is what I did. All right, so here are the exercises I've been doing since the start of week 3 for my rehab at home. I always start with one standing exercise, which is simply the calf raises, which I'll do anywhere between 15 to 30 reps at once, depending on how I feel. And now that we're at the end of week 4, I'm even at a point where I could start doing single leg calf raises pretty comfortably on one leg. Also important to note, at the beginning of week 3, I had to be careful when getting down to the floor. So what I do is that I always have a support, get into a lunge position, and then get to the floor. But now that we're almost done with week 4, I can get to the floor fairly easily. I can even squat down or go for a down dog, scoot back, get back down to the floor easily. So those things definitely change over time as you're healing day by day. All right, so once on the floor, I would always start with this bridge exercise and adductor squeals. So I have this ball that I can squeeze here between my legs hard, okay? And I would simply bridge up, hold it for a few seconds, and get back down. And I would do that anywhere between 10 to 15 reps while staying up for 2 to 3 seconds at a time. And at the beginning of week 3, I would feel like a pull on the front of my legs, on my quads, even sometimes a sharp, pinchy feeling. So what I was recommended to do is not to go as high at the beginning, but now we're at the end of week 4, and I can easily bridge to the top, squeeze my glute as hard as I want without feeling any tension in the front. And that's something you'll notice as you recover day by day. It's going to get better and better, and you won't have those weird little pains anymore. Second exercise I like going into from the floor is a little bit of hamstring flexibility. So laying down again and just simply holding my leg, extending as high as I can, coming back down from anywhere to 10 to 15 reps per side. And once I got that flexibility done, I'd use those sliders to work my hamstrings. So putting my heels down on them, I would extend my legs fully, and then as a pull towards me, I apply pressure down on the floor. Now, early on, I was able to keep my hips off the floor the whole time while doing it, extending the legs out, keeping a neutral spine, and squeezing towards my butt for, again, 10 to 15 reps at a time. All right, then I'd go into the toughest exercise, at least for me, during this rehab time, and that's the straight leg raise from the back here. So keeping, again, my abs engaged nicely, I lift one leg up as far up as I can, pointing my toes towards me, coming back down slowly, and alternating. Especially on the left side is where I would have the most difficulty and feel the most tension in the front of my hip. And for that exercise, since it was really difficult, it still is, but a lot easier than before, I would only do like 5 to 6 reps per side. And then I finish the floor work with some banded exercises. This is a pretty heavy band. I think I started with the green that has less resistance at the beginning. Feet flat on the floor for this one. Bridging up, holding for 2 to 3 seconds, and going back down. 10 to 15 reps. And after that, I would stay at the top the whole time and simply do abduction. So opening my legs as wide as I can while it's still comfortable, coming back in. And also here, 10 to 15. And man, this is where I could feel my glutes in a way that I didn't feel them in a long time, even prior to surgery. So it's really nice to have that sensation. And from there, I would go straight into clamshells. Again, usually with the green band before at the beginning of, or in week 3, but now in week 4, the red band is fine. So I'm on the side here, laying down and squeezing the side of my hip as hard as I can. I'm already going way further than what I would do at the start. Again, 10 to 15 reps on one side, and obviously switch to the other side and balance it out. And then the last exercise of my rehab plan was to make sure I engage my quadriceps and I make them work. As you can see, I have 2 bands around my legs. At the start of week 3, I only had the red band, and pretty early on, I was able to add a second band. And I was already doing that exercise in the hospital, but right out of surgery, but without bands, just to recruit my quads. This is how it looks. Here, I'm gonna prop it up on one leg, keep this one close to the bed, and simply extend my leg to get to fully straight and come back in. And I want to anywhere between 10, 15, or even 20 reps at a time if I feel good, trying to really stabilize and only move at the knee joint. Again, there's an added resistance here. You could do it without any bands already, just to recruit your quads early on in your rehab process, or you can have a little weight attached to your ankle to do it as well. So all in all, doing one round of all those exercises, again, most of them anywhere between 10 to 20 reps, would take me around 10 to 15 minutes. So if I felt good, I would go for a second round of everything, which again would take about 25 to 30 minutes. And I made sure to do that every day where I didn't already do PT or workout at the gym. So overall, weeks 3 and 4 have gone as I hoped. My scars are healing well, I'm feeling stronger, and my mobility keeps improving. I was even able to complete a 1.5 mile walk with my mom at near normal pace with very little discomfort. Some days I almost forget I had surgery. The hardest part now is being patient, especially since I'm not allowed to drive and want to do more. When I could clearly feel my limitations, patience was easy, but now I have to be smart and intentional so I don't push too far too soon. Thank you for following along with my recovery journey. I'll be back soon with some more updates.